Welcome, friends. It's nighttime here, and I'm so glad that you're here to join me this evening. It's been a long time since I've seen all of you, and I've been having a great time back to work. A couple of new things have happened. I'm in a new area, and my kids broke my microphone, so now I have a microphone with a sock covering it to help me get through my videos. But I miss seeing all of you on my lives, and I'm here tonight to share a little bit more about the Duggars before sentencing. Guys, I am feeling a lot of emotions about Josh Duggar's sentencing. Obviously, I'm excited to finally come to the end of this rabbit hole. I started my channel in February, and I've made over 60 videos so far, and probably 50 of them, 45, 50 of them are about the Duggar family. I tried to kind of take you along on my journey as I did a lot of my own research, trying to uncover more about what I think most closely resembles the truth when it comes to the Duggars. We don't have all the answers. This channel certainly doesn't have all the answers, but I've learned a lot through this journey. And I think one of the most important things I hope my channel has shared with you is that nothing is ever really black and white. When I look at Josh Duggar, I see a person who I could consider disgusting in many ways, and a person who is egotistical, not the kind of man I would want around myself or my children. And yet, I can also see someone who probably struggled a lot growing up in this kind of subculture that the IBLP has created. Yes, things were very hard for the females in that family, but that doesn't mean that the males weren't suffering as well on many levels. I hope that my channel has done a good job of trying to keep in mind that there are always multiple sides to the story, and it's important to look at all of them and then come to your own conclusions. I don't hate the Duggars or the IBLP. I've mentioned before that even if everyone was to leave the IBLP and it was shut down, many of those people would just go on to get involved in another similar kind of church and have some of the same issues. I'm so glad to see all of you here with me this evening, because I'm a little more than 24 hours away from the end of my Josh Duggar rabbit hole. Last week, as Josh Duggar's sentencing papers were released, we got a look at several letters from the defense supporting Josh Duggar and repeatedly bringing up the claim that Josh has given money on a monthly basis to a family friend who was recently widowed. Many of my viewers replied wanting to know more about this widow and questioning so many things about the situation. Where was Josh Duggar getting $2,000 extra a month to give away, as Anna reported they did faithfully every month? Why didn't the widow write a letter? What about this specific person caused the Duggars to want to support her? Friends, I've done some research, and it appears as though I found out some important information I'd like to share with you. So come along and join me down my last few Duggar rabbit holes. About a month ago, I read a Duggar AMA in which an old Duggar friend told the tale of how the Duggars got their big, beautiful family house built. The Duggar insider claimed that Jim Bob relied heavily on help from friends, neighbors, and church members. Donations were made in bulk. Time and resources were allocated for them free of charge. And it turns out one of the main motivating factors in getting the project done was the fact that Jim Bob had a lot of help from a close family friend named Clark Wilson.
Clark Wilson appeared on 19 Kids and Counting. Clark was born in 1960 and was raised Baptist, eventually becoming involved in ATI with the Duggar family. Clark was a contractor who worked on the homes of many ATI families. One of the reasons I think it's important to know about Clark is because the Duggar insider I spoke about made claims that Clark and his family spent a significant amount of time living with the Duggars in their tiny 3-bedroom home in Springdale, Arkansas. Allegedly, according to this insider, Clark stayed and slept in the boys' room in the 3-bedroom house with his own male children. So Clark was with several male children in the boys' room. The insider alleges that Michelle, who had horrible back pain from her pregnancies, slept in a recliner in the living room with whoever was the youngest child in her lap. Allegedly, Jana slept on the couch beside her to help her with the baby. The rest of the girls slept in the girls' bedroom, and Jim Bob and all of his sons slept in the one remaining master bedroom together. Like they shared the bed, and some of them slept on the floor. The insider asks, so where was Josh? They don't know for sure, but it begs the question yet again about how crazy and inappropriate living in the Duggar home may have been for a prepubescent or pubescent boy. Was he sleeping on the floor in the master bedroom with his dad at age 15? It's a question that kind of haunts me. I don't think these kinds of sleeping arrangements are good for kids long term. So what was Clark Wilson doing there? We're about to see that he spent a lot of time with the Duggars, helping them build their new house.
That's why a few years ago, my parents decided we could use a lot more room. They wanted some fresh air and wide open space. My dad's work is in real estate, and he found the perfect spot for a new house, 6 miles outside the city.
We are so thankful to have 20 acres because our plan is in the future for each one of the children, if they desire to build a house here on the property next to ours.
Of course, my dad didn't want us to build just any old house. He wanted us to build a 7,000 square foot dream house, all by ourselves. I was like, us build a house? We don't know anything about this. And my dad was like, oh, I think we can do it. Turns out my parents had made up their minds. Their decision would literally change our lives. They told us it would be the world's greatest way to learn. We need help.
Clark Wilson and his family, they are dear friends, and he offered to help us.
Taught us about welding and cutting and how to do all this from the ground up.
Put a little gas and a little oxygen. All right, John David. Just put on the edge of the steel. Now give it a little oxygen. Move it as you go. Come toward me with it.
So there's a small peek at Clark Wilson helping build the Duggars house on 19 Kids and Counting. Let me give you some additional information about Clark. Clark Wilson was married to Denise Wilson. He is the father of 11 children. He was often featured on 19 Kids and Counting, where he assisted both the Duggar and the Bates families with their home construction. However, in 2015, Clark was diagnosed with multiple myeloma after seeking treatment for bone damage in his right arm. He underwent chemotherapy and radiation to treat the cancer. In February of 2016, everyone felt so blessed when his bone scan came back clear and no new lesions were in his arm. He finished his regular chemo and was able to move into a maintenance dosage. However, on January 18, 2018, at the age of 57, Clark passed away. Clark and his family ran a blog spot about their family, and Clark posted there. The blog is called the clarkwilsonfamily.blogspot.com. They describe themselves as a big, happy Southern family who love God, each other, and making awesome memories together. We sing and play gospel bluegrass music as a family. We share photos, news, and pieces of our everyday life. Sola Dei Gloria, to God alone be the glory. Duggar internet sleuths have made the connection that most likely Denise Wilson is the widow Josh has allegedly been making contributions to. It's so interesting to me. With all the problems the Duggars have, they can also do really good things. And I believe, based upon some additional research I've done, rather than Josh just giving the $2,000 every month, it was really a contribution from the whole Duggar family, just kind of funneled through Josh, probably because he could use the tax break or something. But the money most likely came from the business structures that have been set up by Jim Bob and that are run by all of the boys in the family. Maybe Josh wrote the check, but the money was coming from Jim Bob's empire. I do my channel to share the truth of what I found, and this rabbit hole led me to a place where the Duggar family is doing something good for a family in need. Hopefully, Denise Wilson is okay, and her story is actually important to share because I think it's a prime example of what many women in the Quiverful movement may have to face. Having children well into your 40s with a man who's likely to pass away before you leaves you with the potential burden to care for many young children on your own should your worst nightmare take place. If people in the church aren't willing to help support a widow through issues like that, how will she ever be able to provide for her children? Hopefully, there are no strings attached in the arrangement between the Duggars and this widow, but who knows? Crazier stories have been proven true about the Duggars. Before I go, I want to share some silly Duggar memes by fans or anti-fans to cleanse our palates and make us laugh a little bit. And all of these laughs come directly from Duggar Snark Reddit. A Snarker's Christmas Poem. 'Twas the night before sentencing, when all through each house, every good Redditor was snarking, using phones or a mouse. The refresh button was clicked over and over with care, in hopes that a 20-year sentence from Judge Brooks would soon be there. And Mish in her jean skirt and Jimothy in his toupee had heard that there would be no more sentencing delay, when outside the court there arose such a clatter, paparazzi and famey cheering with laughter, zippers on the breasts of Anna in the first row, in hopes it would keep the judge from sentencing pests to death row. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a court sketch of Judge Brooks with the glimmering jeer, more rapid than eagles, the post finally came, CCMCC, and nuggets of chicken, his sentence loudly proclaimed. With 1,000,000 gold awards for doing the Lord Daniel's work, we snarkers, we applauded and went berserk. Now Jim Bob, now Mish, now Anna, and Jana, on Justin, on Joanna, Jessa, and Ben, to the front of the court, say goodbye, the golden boy is going away for a while. While you're sad, we snarkers will cheer with a smile. Okay guys, that was all a little bit snarky from Duggar Snark Reddit, and sometimes I just need to smile and laugh a little bit, but I'm hoping for all the best, and I hope all of you will head down your own rabbit hole tonight.
I'm Mommy Michelle, and our newest addition, little Johanna Faye.
I'm Jim Bob, and this is Jackson.
James, Jason, Jeremiah, Jediah, Joanna, Josiah,
Joseph, Ginger, Jessa, Jill,
John,
Jana,
Joshua, and just one more time so you really get it.
Jana,
John,
Jill, Jessa, Ginger, Joseph,
Josiah, Joanna, Jediah, Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin.
This is Jackson, and I'm Jim Bob.
That's 10 boys and 6 girls ranging in age from newborn all the way up to 17. Oh yeah,